I retired my casino host's number. Here's what 6 months of real wealth looks like. 6 months ago, I stopped answering. That was my casino host. I'd had his number saved for 3 years, knew it by sight before I even saw the name. 6 months ago, I deleted it. This is everything that happened after. Everything the high roller lifestyle taught me about money was wrong, and I was one of its best students. The comps, the suite upgrades, the personal casino host, every single perk was the system paying me in illusions while I paid it in real money. Today, we dismantle how that machine worked and what I built in its place. There's a specific feeling when you walk into a venue and they know your name before you reach the desk, when your host is already texting you before you arrive, when the table minimum is a number that would make most people's throat tighten and you don't think twice. That feeling was the product, not the winnings, the feeling. Because here's what the casino never puts on the brochure. They're not selling gambling, they're selling identity. And I bought the premium package. I was someone who operated at that level, someone who understood risk, a high stakes player. And that framing let me rationalize every session as the cost of business. But identity is expensive when someone else is setting the price, and the house always sets the price. The exit wasn't a single catastrophic loss. It was something slower and more precise. It was clarity. One night, midway through a session, I started doing math in my head, not on the hands, on the system. I calculated what I had actually moved in and out over the previous year. Then I ran a simple compound growth calculation on that same number. The result wasn't just uncomfortable, it was disorienting, because the number that came out the other side wasn't theoretical future money. It was what I had already traded away for volatile dopamine hits and complimentary dinners. The next morning, I called my host. Not to book anything, I deleted the number. That was the moment I stopped being a gambler and started becoming an architect of real wealth. Here's what took me the longest to understand. I was never addicted to winning. I was addicted to almost winning. This is called variable ratio reinforcement. You never know when the reward is coming, so you never stop pulling the lever. And the neurological hit from a near miss is nearly identical to the hit from an actual win. Your brain can't distinguish between the two. It just knows. Keep going. It's coming. The casinos have understood this since the 1970s. The carpet patterns that keep your eyes from the exits, the absence of clocks, the way chip colors abstract away from real dollar amounts. None of it is accidental. It is precision engineering aimed directly at the part of your brain that makes you stay. I remember 3 consecutive nights where I walked out even or slightly up. I remember thinking, genuinely believing, that I had found the edge. That's the machine running perfectly. Those wins weren't evidence I was beating the system. They were the system keeping me inside the system, optimizing for my return. So, if gambling is the illusion of leverage, what's the real version? Ownership. When you gamble, you are the customer, the product, the revenue source. When you invest in assets, equities, real estate, businesses, you stop being the customer and become part of the ownership structure. And owners don't play games designed to extract from them. They build systems that work while they sleep. At a 10% average annual return, the S&P 500's historical average, money doubles every 7.2 years, not because something lucky happened, because time and compounding are working in your favor every single day, mathematically, without exception. Now contrast that with the Baccarat table, house edge, 1.06%, every hand, every session, every year, the same compounding mechanism running in the opposite direction. Against you, always. The house doesn't gamble, the house compounds. And for years, I had been on the wrong side of that equation. In month 1, I went through withdrawal. When you remove a high frequency reward cycle, your brain notices. I was restless. I redirected that energy into education, not trading tips, but foundational mechanics, how compounding actually works. My goal wasn't to make money, it was to understand it. Month 2 was construction, emergency fund, automated investments, because discipline without automation is just willpower, and willpower has a finite supply. I'm not going to pretend this felt good. There were nights where I would have loved the action, but I kept coming back to one thought. The casino host had a name for people like me, a customer profile, and I was done being a customer profile. By months 3 and 4, the automated investments had been running long enough to produce real returns. Numbers that went up because the system was working, not because I got lucky. By month 5, my identity had shifted. I wasn't someone trying to quit gambling, I was someone building real assets. The high roller identity is a cage designed to feel like a penthouse. The access, the comps, the status, it's all real and it's all engineered to keep you in the chair. The only leverage that genuinely compounds in your favor is ownership. Retiring that number wasn't a loss. It was the highest expected value decision I've ever made. The transformation didn't stop at 6 months, it's still compounding.